King Frederik's marriage scandals exposed, every time his relationship with Mary nearly collapsed. Welcome to BNews. The fairy tale romance between Crown Prince Frederik of Denmark and his Australian-born wife Mary has captivated the world since they first met at a Sydney pub during the 2000 Olympics, but today, November 7, 2025, as their marriage faces its most serious crisis yet amid financial scandals and reports of broken trust, we're examining the complete history of challenges, controversies, and near breaking points that have tested this royal relationship throughout its nearly 25-year journey. How many times has Prince Frederik, now King Frederik X, faced serious challenges in his relationship with Mary? What were the specific incidents, rumors, and crises that have threatened their marriage over the years? And what do these repeated challenges reveal about the pressures of royal marriage, the vulnerabilities in their relationship, and whether the current crisis represents an unprecedented threat or merely the latest chapter in a long history of weathering storms together? The answers paint a far more complex and troubled picture than the glossy magazine covers and official royal portraits suggest. From whispered rumors of Frederik's behavior during royal tours to explosive tabloid allegations about inappropriate relationships with other women, from reported tensions over parenting and royal duties to fundamental disagreements about how to navigate life in the public eye, Frederik and Mary's marriage has faced numerous serious challenges that would have ended many relationships. Some of these challenges have been documented in media reports and confirmed through various sources, others remain in the realm of persistent rumor and speculation that the palace has neither confirmed nor fully denied. What emerges from examining this history is a portrait of a marriage that has always been more fragile than public presentations suggested, that has required constant work and negotiation to maintain, and that now faces a crisis that may finally prove insurmountable. Before we reveal every challenge and scandal that has tested Frederik and Mary's marriage throughout the years, you must subscribe to BNews immediately. We're bringing you comprehensive royal coverage that connects the dots and reveals patterns others miss. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, and comment below with whether you think their marriage can survive this latest crisis. Your engagement helps us continue providing the fearless journalism you deserve. Subscribe now. The first significant challenge to Frederik and Mary's relationship actually occurred before they were even married, during their courtship period when Mary was attempting to adapt to the enormous changes that a relationship with a crown prince demanded. After meeting in September 2000, Frederik and Mary conducted a long-distance relationship for over a year, with Mary remaining in Australia while Frederik fulfilled his royal duties in Denmark. This geographic separation created obvious strains, but more challenging were the cultural differences and the reality of what life with Frederik would actually entail. By late 2001 and into 2002, as their relationship became more serious in public, Mary faced intense scrutiny from Danish media and public who questioned whether this Australian commoner was appropriate for their future king. Reports from this period suggest that Mary struggled significantly with the pressure, with some sources indicating she seriously considered ending the relationship because the loss of privacy and freedom seemed too high a price to pay. Frederik, meanwhile, reportedly faced pressure from some within the palace and royal circles who questioned whether Mary had the background, temperament, and skills to become an effective crown princess. The couple apparently had serious conversations during this period about whether they could make the relationship work given these external pressures and the fundamental changes Mary would need to make to her life. That they ultimately decided to continue and became engaged in October 2003 represented their first major test successfully navigated, but it established patterns of external pressure creating internal stress that would recur throughout their marriage. The engagement period itself brought new challenges, with Mary undergoing intensive preparation for royal life including Danish language lessons, protocol training, and introduction to the countless organizations, causes, and institutions she would be expected to engage with as crown princess. Friends from this period describe Mary as overwhelmed and anxious, questioning whether she could successfully transform herself into the person this role required while also maintaining her own identity and sense of self. The early years of Frederik and Mary's marriage, following their spectacular wedding in May 2004, brought challenges related to adjustment, role definition, and the realities of royal life that no amount of preparation could fully anticipate. Mary has spoken in various interviews over the years about how difficult the first years of marriage were, describing feelings of isolation, homesickness for Australia, and struggle to find her footing in Danish society and the royal family. She was living in a foreign country, speaking a language she was still mastering, navigating cultural norms that differed from what she'd known, and doing all of this under constant media scrutiny with every fashion choice, public appearance, and facial expression analyzed and critiqued. Frederik, while supportive in many ways, was also navigating his own adjustment, being married for the first time at age 35, sharing his life and space with another person after decades of independence, and helping his wife adapt to a world he took for granted but that was completely foreign to her. Reports from this period suggest tensions over how much time Frederik spent on his personal interests including sailing and his military career versus time supporting Mary's adjustment and being present in their marriage. There were also reported disagreements about how to handle media attention, with Mary wanting more privacy and protection while Frederik, having grown up in the spotlight, was more comfortable with and accepting of constant public attention. The birth of their first child, Crown Prince Christian, in October 2005 brought joy but also new pressures and challenges. Mary apparently struggled with aspects of new motherhood while also maintaining royal duties and public appearances, and there were reports of disagreements between Frederik and Mary about parenting approaches and how to raise children in the royal spotlight while also giving them as much normalcy as possible. The most serious and widely reported challenge to Frederik and Mary's marriage came in late 2023, just months before Frederik's accession to the throne, when Spanish and Australian media published reports about Frederik's alleged close friendship with Mexican-born socialite Genoveva Casanova during a visit to Madrid. Photographs showed Frederik and Genoveva walking together through Madrid, attending what appeared to be cultural events, and spending extended time together without visible security or other companions. The reports sparked immediate speculation about the nature of their relationship, with some tabloids explicitly suggesting an affair while others described it more carefully as an intimate friendship that raised questions about appropriateness given Frederik's married status. Both Frederik's office and Genoveva issued strong denials of any romantic or inappropriate relationship, with Genoveva even pursuing legal action against some publications for defamation. However, the incident created enormous media attention and public speculation, particularly because Mary was notably absent from Frederik's side during the initial period after the reports emerged, fueling rumors that she was deeply upset and that the marriage was in serious trouble. For nearly 2 months, Frederik and Mary made no joint public appearances, and when they did finally appear together at official Christmas events in December 2023, body language experts and royal watchers noted tension and distance that suggested serious problems even if the couple was attempting to present a united front. The timing of this scandal, occurring just weeks before Queen Margrethe II announced her surprise abdication, led to speculation about whether the Madrid incident and the resulting marital crisis had influenced Margrethe's decision to abdicate, perhaps hoping that the increased responsibility and visibility of becoming king and queen would force Frederik and Mary to recommit to their marriage and work through their problems. Palace sources from this period, speaking anonymously, suggested that Mary was devastated and humiliated by the Madrid photographs and reports, feeling that regardless of whether there was physical infidelity, Frederik's judgment and respect for their marriage was seriously lacking if he thought it appropriate to spend extended private time with an attractive woman in circumstances that would inevitably fuel speculation. Beyond these specific, documented incidents, Frederik and Mary's marriage has faced ongoing challenges related to fundamental tensions that characterize many royal relationships but that appear to have been particularly acute in their case. One persistent source of tension has reportedly been Frederik's relationship with his parents, particularly his mother Queen Margrethe, and Mary's feelings about her position within the royal family hierarchy. Multiple sources over the years have described Mary as sometimes feeling like an outsider within the Danish royal family, never quite fully accepted despite years of dedicated service and successful adaptation to Danish life. Frederik's strong loyalty to his mother and his apparent reluctance to fully defend Mary when she has felt criticized or undervalued by Margrethe has reportedly been a recurring source of hurt and resentment. Mary has allegedly expressed frustration that Frederik doesn't always recognize or appreciate the unique challenges she faces as someone who married into royalty rather than being born into it, and that he sometimes defaults to supporting his family's perspective rather than standing with his wife when conflicts arise. Another ongoing challenge has involved disagreements about how much of their private life to share publicly versus how much to protect and keep private. Frederik, having grown up in constant public attention, has a higher tolerance for an acceptance of media presence in his life, while Mary has consistently fought to maintain stronger boundaries and protect their children from excessive exposure. These different comfort levels with publicity have apparently led to tensions about what events the children should attend, what information should be shared about the family's private activities, and how to respond to media requests and intrusions. There have also been reported tensions over the years about their different social needs and preferences. Frederik enjoys social events, gatherings with friends, and convivial atmospheres, while Mary is reportedly more introverted and prefers smaller, more intimate social settings. This difference in temperament has allegedly led to disagreements about social obligations and how they spend their limited private time. Financial matters have also apparently been a source of tension in Frederik and Mary's marriage, though these tensions have taken on entirely new significance given the current scandal about Frederik's undisclosed investments. Even before the recent revelations, there were reports over the years about disagreements regarding household spending, renovations to royal residences, and Mary's interest in fashion and her clothing budgets. While these might seem like relatively minor marital disputes, they apparently reflected deeper disagreements about values, priorities, and appropriate use of resources when one lives on public funding. Mary has been criticized periodically in Danish media for expensive wardrobe choices, with some suggesting she doesn't sufficiently embrace Danish fashion designers or that her clothing budgets exceed what's appropriate for someone in her position. Frederik has reportedly sometimes agreed with these criticisms and expressed concern about the optics of excessive spending, creating tension with Mary, who has felt that she's expected to always look impeccable and represent Denmark well but then gets criticized for the costs of maintaining the expected appearance. The revelation that Frederik was making substantial investments through offshore entities while apparently questioning Mary's clothing expenses has reportedly been particularly galling to Mary, who views it as hypocritical and evidence that different standards have been applied to her spending versus Frederik's financial activities. There have also been ongoing tensions reported about the division of royal duties and workload, with Mary apparently feeling at times that she carries an unequal burden of engagements, speeches, and organizational patronages while Frederik focuses more on his personal interests and less demanding ceremonial functions. While specific numbers vary depending on how one counts royal engagements, some analyses have suggested that Mary has consistently maintained a fuller schedule of official duties than Frederik, creating resentment about unequal contributions to the shared royal role they nominally occupy together. Parenting has been another area where Frederik and Mary have reportedly faced challenges and disagreements throughout their marriage. The couple has 4 children: Crown Prince Christian, born 2005, Princess Isabella, born 2007, and twins Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine, born 2011, and raising these children in the royal spotlight while trying to provide them with as much normalcy as possible has required constant negotiation and decision-making. Reports suggest that Frederik and Mary have had differing views on educational choices, with debates about whether the children should attend public versus private schools, whether they should board away from home or remain with family, and how to balance preparation for royal roles, particularly for Christian as heir, with normal childhood experiences. There have also been reported tensions about discipline, screen time, and how much freedom and independence to give the children as they've grown older. The controversy over sending the children to her Lufsholm boarding school, which later became embroiled in scandal regarding hazing and bullying, apparently created significant stress in the marriage, with both Frederik and Mary reportedly feeling defensive and questioning their judgment about this educational choice. More fundamentally, there appears to be ongoing tension about how to prepare the children, particularly Christian and Isabella, for their future roles or possible futures given the uncertainty about what the monarchy will look like in coming decades. Frederik's recent reform proposals, which would apparently remove the younger children from working royal roles, were reportedly not fully discussed with Mary before being developed, creating hurt feelings and conflict about such consequential decisions affecting their children's futures being made without adequate partnership and joint decision-making. Looking at the complete history of challenges Frederik and Mary's marriage has faced, from early courtship pressures to adjustment difficulties in the first years of marriage, from the Madrid scandal to ongoing tensions about family relationships, finances, parenting, and work-life balance, what emerges is a portrait of a relationship that has always required significant work and compromise to maintain. The current crisis, involving Frederik's concealment of financial dealings and the broken trust this has created, represents perhaps the most serious challenge yet because it strikes at the fundamental foundation of their relationship: honesty, partnership, and shared decision-making. All of the previous challenges involved disagreements, different preferences, or external pressures, but they occurred within a framework of basic trust and honesty. The revelation that Frederik maintained significant secrets from Mary, making major financial decisions and creating complex investment structures without her knowledge, has apparently shattered that foundational trust in ways that previous challenges did not. Whether Frederik and Mary's marriage can survive this latest crisis depends on whether they can rebuild trust after such a fundamental breach, whether Mary can forgive and move forward, or whether the accumulated weight of all these challenges has finally exceeded what the relationship can bear. The fact that their marriage has survived so many previous challenges might suggest resilience and commitment that could carry them through this crisis as well. Alternatively, each previous challenge may have depleted their reserves of goodwill and patience, making this latest crisis the proverbial final straw that breaks what was already a strained relationship. Now we want your honest perspective. Given all the challenges Frederik and Mary's marriage has faced over the years, are you surprised they're still together, or does their history suggest resilience that will help them survive this latest crisis? Do you think the Madrid incident in 2023 was adequately addressed, or did unresolved issues from that scandal contribute to their current problems? And more broadly, can any marriage, royal or otherwise, survive this many serious challenges, or does the pattern suggest fundamental incompatibilities that were never fully resolved? Share your thoughtful opinions in the comments below. If this comprehensive examination of Frederik and Mary's relationship challenges provided context and insights you haven't found elsewhere, show your appreciation by subscribing to BNews, hitting that like button, and sharing this video with anyone following the Danish royal drama. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our continuing coverage as this unprecedented situation continues to develop.